Hey team, hope y'all are having a great day. We are super excited about this call that we have for y'all. We have a special guest. She is a Diamond Ambassador. She is amazing. I've learned a lot from her, and I'm just going to go ahead and let her take it away. So Melissa Eickenhorst is going to share her story with us, and we're going to ask her a few questions. So Melissa.
Thanks, Kelsey. Thank you both so much for having me on. I feel really honored anytime I have the opportunity to teach and to train. That's my passion, and that's a part of my story. So like Kelsey said, I'm Melissa Eickenhorst, Diamond Ambassador, and I started my Plexus business in August of 2013. So I'm going on just a little bit over 2.5 years. I'll just tell you a little bit how my journey started. You know, as a teacher, I had the summer off, and I had spent one whole summer working out, counting calories, running, doing P90X, and I had this goal in mind. I wanted to go back to school in August, a certain weight. Really, it was all about the scale for me. And after doing all of that work all summer long, I was kind of stuck in the same place I was at the beginning of the summer. And that had never been my experience before. I had always been able to, set a goal, a health goal, and achieve it on my own. Well, about that time in August, I saw a girl that I went to college with 12 years ago. We were in the same sorority, but we had not spoken in 12 years. And she was posting on Facebook about Plexus. She was the only one in my Facebook audience posting about Plexus at that time. And I had never done anything like Plexus before. I wasn't even really a vitamin or a supplement girl. Like, I was really, really cautious about what I put in my body. And so I kind of erred on the side of not taking Advil or Tylenol or any sort of medication or anything like that. But I kept seeing her before and afters, and she was someone that I knew personally. And I started seeing some before and afters of some people, that I knew from college. And I thought, I'm going to dig deeper. I'm going to look into this. And so I did. So I decided that I wanted to, like many of you, get my products at the very deepest discount. I jumped on as an ambassador with zero intentions of building a business. Like, if anything, I was the anti-multi-level marketing girl. I had had an experience in multi-level marketing before, and I felt very, very burned by it. And so, like, I understood the wholesale piece of it, and I thought, I'm going to do this, but I will never, ever work the business. Okay. There's a lesson there, and I'll go into that later, but I will never work the business. Well, I am, a Target shopper, and I like to get things at the best price. And I thought, well, geez, if this girl who I haven't seen or met in 12 years just made money off of me, like, I didn't care if it was $10 or $50 or $100. She made a little bit of money off of me, and all she did was post on Facebook. Then maybe if I posted on Facebook and got just a few customers, I could get my products paid for, but I'm not building a team. Like, I'm not going to go there. Well, okay, the rest is history. And I quickly realized that Plexus is so much more about weight loss. I think when I really realized that this was a product that I could get behind and be really passionate about, it became easy for me to share because I knew that I was changing people's lives. I had the ability to change people's lives. And so, one of my little taglines, if you ever hear me speak, is that, the day that I said yes to Plexus is the day that I said yes to freedom. And by me grabbing hold of this opportunity and running with it, thousands and thousands and thousands, truly thousands, probably tens of thousands of lives have been changed, and that could be you. If you really jump all in, and if you communicate, and if you really start sharing Plexus with others, then you have the ability to change thousands and thousands of lives as well. And so what has Plexus done for us? Obviously, you guys know, as a Diamond Ambassador, we went to Maui. We just got back from Maui for our second year in a row. I am so blessed to drive a luxury Lexus, a car that I would never have the opportunity to drive if it weren't for Plexus. I was able to retire from teaching. I started my Plexus business in August, and I actually hit Emerald in March of that year. By that time, I had replaced my income several times over, but I finished out the school year because I love my job. I'm a super passionate teacher. And so now I'm able to stay home and pursue my passions and pour into the things that are most important to me. And that is, my family and my husband and being a mommy. So that's a little bit about my journey.
Oh, I I've heard your story before, but I love it each time I hear it. So we are going to jump into the questions. Allie's going to ask the first two, and then I'll follow with the last two.
Awesome.
Here I turned my technology, to where I wasn't looking at it. And then I'm like, oh, where did I put the questions? I have it saved on my phone. Sorry. Okay. So the first question that we wanted to ask you is for brand new ambassadors, someone who has just signed up. What is your top 3 tips for them? Like, what would you say to them to make, what would you say to them if they're brand new?
Love this question. So I'm glad y'all are asking me this. Okay, the very first thing that I would say to any new ambassador is to commit. Just jump in 100% and commit. Decide that you're going to be here 1 year from now. 1 year from now, hopefully Kelsey and Allie are still going to be doing their Zoom meetings, and they're going to be interviewing people, and they're going to be training people, and you are either going to be doing your own or you're going to be tuning in and watching them. So right now, commit to Plexus. Make that decision a business decision. You guys, if you went to the bank and you took out a loan to start a traditional business, you wouldn't quit 3 weeks or 3 months into that business. Commitment is definitely in Plexus. It's what separates the doers from the dreamers. I love my dreamers, okay? But I know so many people, I have so many people on my team who they have these huge, huge, huge dreams, but they're not doing anything to get there. If you have the commitment and you see the vision, then you're going to be separated from the masses, and you're going to be growing your business and really moving ahead. So, I always say to my newbies that jump in and they're saying, I'm going to commit. I say, tell yourself that you are doing this no matter what. No matter what, you're doing this. You will not fail. You will be a diamond with Plexus. You will be on the beaches of Maui. It doesn't matter if it's next year or 5 years from now. This journey is worth it. It's not a race. So I say, bury the word try. Like, I'm going to just try the products and see what they do for me first. Or I'm just going to try to throw it out there on Facebook. I'm going to try this and see how it goes. Take that word, dig a hole, dump it in the hole, and cover it with dirt. Like, just bury that word. No more trying. Just do it. Okay? Would you like to go to an anesthesiologist? This is an analogy that I always use. So you go to an anesthesiologist, and they say to you just before, he puts you out, he says, so I'm going to try to wake you up after the surgery, but, I'm kind of tired and it's been a rough day, but I'm going to do the best that I can. Okay. Would you be like, yeah, okay, that's great. Go ahead. Put me under. Or would you find another doctor? So no more trying. Jump in and commit. So many of us expect too little in the long run, but too much in the short run. Meaning, you jump into this business and you think, okay, in 3 months, if I'm not Emerald, then it's not working for me. Okay, we got to expect a lot more in the long run, and not so much in the beginning. And like I said, compare it to a traditional business. Give this business time to work. They call it the 4-year career. So really, I say, don't even consider walking away or thinking that this business isn't working for you unless you've been in the business for 4 years. So again, so many of us expect too much in the beginning and too little in the long run. And y'all, we're building a network. We're building a business that is going to build us a residual income for our family for decades to come. So it is worth it to really enjoy your journey and commit 100%. And y'all, I love this analogy too. These are my 2 analogies. I'm an English teacher, so these are my 2 analogies I'm going to give y'all. Did you guys know that bamboo only grows a couple of inches during its first 4 years, just a few inches? And during its 5th year, it grows 80 feet. 80 feet. So what if you quit right before the amazing thing that was about to happen to you in your business happens to you? What if you post on Facebook 30 times and then quit, but post number 31 is what was going to get you your rockstar ambassador. You know, look at my sponsor who we hadn't spoken in 12 years. And what if she would have been like, I'm out, right before it was the one that I inquired about Plexus, you know, and we're both diamonds now. So it's amazing. Or what if you pass out, you know, you get do y'all have that big long box of business cards with 1,000 business cards in it, right? So what if you pass out 999 of those business cards and that 1,000th business card was the one that was going to bring you a customer or a rock star ambassador? So I really, really do believe that the only way to fail at this business is to quit this business. So number one, commit. Number two, my second tip is you've got to be attractive. And by attractive, I don't mean like do your hair pretty and put on nice makeup and wear nice clothes. That's not what I mean at all. But I mean, you've got to be excited and enthusiastic and really, really positive. You need to let that pour from you. You know, people that here's another analogy, right? Like you have a light outside and bugs are attracted to the light, right? You have to be the light, not to attract the bugs, but to attract the people. You want to draw people to you, and you can do that with your excitement and with your enthusiasm. And people can't help but want to know what you're doing if you're exuding that excitement and positivity. And I always tell my team that like when they're posting on Facebook, they've never been so excited about anything in their life. Like you are doing that with the same excitement that you would be posting about if you were posting about like a baby that you just had for the first time and how excited you were to like show that baby to the Facebook world. You're going to post on Facebook with that same excitement about Plexus, because, you know, if you're like stressed out and tired and just negative all the time, then people aren't going to listen to you when you're positive. So definitely make sure that you look at yourself in the way that you're sharing with others. And then my third tip for a new ambassador would be not to prejudge anyone. And I think that this is a tip that we don't hear about or talk about quite enough, but treat everyone on your team, treat everyone that you talk to about this opportunity like the future diamond ambassador that you know that they can be. So this is one of my lessons, because in the beginning of my business, I was guilty of this and I'm not proud of that. But there were people that joined my team and I thought, you know what? I just don't see it. Like they don't have influence. They've dabbled in a lot of other things before. I can't really imagine them being like super successful in Plexus. And guess what? Some of those people are super successful in Plexus. And then I've had people who have joined my team and I thought, this is it. I've told my husband, okay, this is it. This is my next jewel. I know it. And I get really, really excited. And then it's like crickets from them, right? And you're like, what in the world is going on? So you never, ever know. So build relationships with people. Treat everyone like a future diamond, especially when you're getting them started. I really, really believe that I am where I am in this business in large part because of the relationships that I've built with people. And remember the tagline, I say this to my team a lot too, that people work harder for praises than raises. So love on people. When you have a chance to, I know that Kelsey and Allie have a team page. If you don't have a team page and you're on their team page, but you have a team member that's done something awesome, like they've hit 500 PB or 1,000 PB, give them a shout out or send them a private message, just encouraging them and loving on them. So my tips: commit, be positive, be attractive, and then don't prejudge anyone.
Oh, I love those. Those are so good. And I feel like that's really applicable to everyone, not just new ambassadors. We have a lot of people on our team who have been around a while, and I think even for me, it was good to hear, but I think it'll be good for them too. So we really appreciate that. The next question that we have is kind of, I guess it really applies to any ambassador. But as we go in this business, kind of goes along with your commit, there are going to be those low moments when you feel discouraged, when maybe someone you thought was going to be a rock star isn't, or maybe You have a lot of customers who are just kind of like, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I don't want the products anymore or whatever. What's your advice for how to handle those low moments, those kind of frustrating moments? And then also, what has been a lesson you've learned when you've had one of those moments?
Okay, that's a good question. So one of the very, 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 very best things that I did when I started this business, like I said, I had been involved in another company prior to this. And when I started Plexus and I decided to do it, like I decided that I was going to work it as a business, I promised myself that I wouldn't do one thing. And that was ride the emotional roller coaster. Okay, so that is in those low moments, right? So, here's our journey in multi-level marketing. It doesn't matter what company you're in, but your journey is that you jump in and you get really excited and you have hope. And you start thinking, like, when y'all signed up, the first night that you signed up, could you sleep? Like, probably not, because your mind is spinning, or that moment that you decided. And so it's like you're riding this really high, and you post on Facebook and someone inquires and you're like way up here and everything is really good. And then you dip down low because maybe you sent some emails and nobody responded. You're like, well, I thought everyone was going to jump on with me. Why isn't anyone jumping on with me? And you're right here, and then all of a sudden someone responds and they order, and you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. I'm going to be a future diamond, right? And then, you sign a team member and you're like really, really high. And then all of a sudden you have 10 team members, and then you check your back office and one has turned off their auto call. And you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? They trusted me in this business. And now that, you know what I mean? And we can ride this roller coaster, like up and down, up and down. And so in those low moments, I just decided not to ride the roller coaster. So again, I had made a business decision. I had committed and I had said, I'm going to keep moving forward, and I'm not going to ride the highs and I'm not going to ride the lows. Like, I'm a human being, so it's okay for me to feel those feelings, but they're not going to determine what I do in my business, because regardless of what y'all are doing, you as my customers, you as my team, you as my audience, I'm moving forward. So come with me. You can come with me or not, or you can come with me and jump off. It doesn't matter. But what I'm doing is I am moving forward, and I'm not going to ride that emotional roller coaster. So in those low times, I would say just feel the feeling and then let it go, but don't let that determine what you are going to do with your personal business. Remember that they are not, if something happens, like you have an ambassador and they quit, or you have a customer and they stop using the products, or if you have like a naysayer, right? Just remember that they're not rejecting you personally. They're rejecting the chance to change their health. They're rejecting the chance to change their finances. They're rejecting the chance to potentially change those thousands of lives that I mentioned at the beginning of this call. They're rejecting a chance to go to Maui and drive a Lexus and get out of a 40-hour-a-week job if they want, and get out of rush hour traffic and be in a business with amazing men and women. But by all means, they're not rejecting you. And so I think we take this business so personally, because once we have made the commitment, we're passionate about it. And we want everyone else to be as passionate about it alongside of us. And that is not always going to happen. So seriously, stay off the emotional roller coaster. And this is going to be so much more of a fun, rewarding journey for you, because you're not going to be riding the highs and lows. But listen, the second part of your question was, when you are in, or what lesson have I learned from that? I think it is, when I do have those kind of moments, because you're going to feel those feelings. The lesson that I've learned is to just remember your why. Why are you doing this? Nothing that anyone else does, no decision that anyone else makes, nothing that anyone else says should deter you from the reason that you are pursuing this opportunity. Remember your why. So if your why is to get out of debt, what's more important? Susie returning her product, or you getting out of debt? You getting out of debt every time. So you shake that off and it's fine. What's more important? If you have, your aunt's friend's cousin that you're Facebook friends with, you know, says something crazy on your Facebook page. What's more important, the way that that person feels about you, or you potentially being able to be a stay-at-home mommy with your kids? So the lesson there is just remember your why, and then dig yourself out of that place as quickly as you can.
Oh, I love that.
Sorry. Of course, my dad started calling. Told y'all this.
Yes.
He doesn't call if I have nothing going on.
Right.
But thank you. We love that. Love that so much. And that was great. I feel like that helps me. I like the roller coaster analogy. I'm like, okay, don't ride it. Just keep going. I like it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because we can all get wrapped up in the emotion. So definitely just keep on going and not worry about anybody else but you. That's awesome advice. Okay, so our next question is about Plexus in your personal life. How do you balance those two? Because I know, like, you know, sometimes I can get wrapped up in just scrolling in Facebook and looking at Plexus stuff or managing my team. So what is your tip on how to balance the two?
Okay, another great question. Y'all ask really good questions. You ask very, very good questions. All right, balance is super important, especially, you know, the main way that most of us are sharing Plexus is through social media. And, you know, what I found was at the beginning, I could be working all day long and all night long and not really be doing a thing, right? Because we're doing exactly what you said. We're scrolling Facebook. And it's almost kind of like just an addiction, you know, social media. We always have our phones in our hands and stuff, but, you know, really fight that. I think I had the mentality at first that I was just going to be all in until I hit Emerald, you know? And so I was willing to sacrifice. And I think, you know, if you're a leader and you're building a team, sacrifice is absolutely so important. Okay. And that looks different for everyone. But within that sacrifice, like I sacrificed TV. You know, I'm an English teacher, so I sacrificed reading for a long time, like novels, stories, and books are my passion. Sacrifice that. I'm willing to set that aside so that I can pursue this and what it's going to do for our family, for our future. But okay, so as far as like just the nitty gritty of balancing, here is a huge tip. If you will look as a team leader, let's say you do have a team, whether it's 3 people, 5 people, 50 people. If you look and you determine that you want to spend your time with the top 20%, you want to love your whole team. You want to love on the 80%, but typically if you sign 10 people, there are going to be 2 that are going to want to run with you, okay? Those are the people that you really want to spend your time investing in. Love the other 8, but spend your time in with those 2. Same thing with like customers and contacts. Like you're always going to want to follow up with people. But let's say you have 20 people on your follow-up list. There are probably 4 people on that list, you know, maybe 4 to 8 that are like your really strong potentials. And so those are the people that you want to be pouring into. So it's just it's one of those leadership laws that identify where your top 20% are in your business, and that's who and what you want to be investing your time in. Now, as far as like daily activity, the number one most important thing is that you are working your personal business. And so when your team grows, it is easy to get into that management mode. But that income producing activity is key. It is so, so important. So I challenge my team, if you're working your business part-time, you want to be making 2 new contacts daily. If you're working your business full-time, then you want to be making 5 new contacts every single day. Is that the law? Is that the rule? Is that what I did the whole time I was building my business? No. But if you are in and you really want to do this, kind of set that as a standard for yourself. And then I love the power hour, like taking 1 hour out of your day and saying, okay, I am not going to scroll Facebook. Like turn Facebook off, get out your lists, get out the people that you need to contact, get out the people that you need to check in with for follow-up. Spend an hour and just full on do that. And then at the end of the day, you can say, I've worked my business 1 hour focused on what I needed to focus on. I've prioritized it. And then everything else after that is just, the added fun stuff, like commenting on people's posts or engaging on your team page and stuff like that. But if you can, or if you don't put boundaries on it, it can consume your whole entire day, and remember your why. If your why is to do this so that you can spend more time with your family, but you're scrolling Facebook every time you're with your family, then your priorities are off. So I think that this is something that I have to keep in check, like probably on a weekly basis, if not on a daily basis. Like, remember what my priority is. So my kids get off the bus, I need to turn to them, turn this off, turn my phone off, and give them my attention and give them my love. Because it's so easy. You hear that little ding and you're like, oh, So set those boundaries, and it's okay. You can go to the top of Plexus even having boundaries.
Can I ask it, Kelsey? I know you have the next question. I just wanted to ask a clarifying question real quick. When you say making new contacts, can you be more specific? Because I think sometimes like people think that commenting or liking things on Facebook is making a new contact.
No. So making a new contact would be reaching out to someone that you have not already spoken to about Plexus. Okay, so that is one new contact. Or it is truly like making a brand new contact. Like, as in, I am at university. I was at my son's basketball practice this past week. It was his second basketball practice. I instead of doing what I wanted to do, honestly, I'll be honest, on my phone, scrolling Facebook, put my phone away, and I got into a really good conversation with one of the other moms there. Ended up getting her name, ended up adding her as a friend on Facebook. I'm building a relationship. Did I talk to her about Plexus? No. Did I like message her about Plexus? No. But she is my new contact, and she's someone that I'm going to work on building a relationship with, and she's going to start seeing my posts on Facebook. Okay, so that was a new contact for the day. But another way, and what I encourage people to do, is to go and to look at their Facebook audience and who hasn't reached out to them about Plexus, and you contact them. I mean, it's okay to do that. So if I see Kelsey and she's posting on Facebook about how she is hitting that slump at the end of the day, and she's super excited about, Sonic's, what do they, like, half price drinks or whatever, their happy hour, message her about that. Like, hey, I know that you rely on your cherry vanilla diet Dr. Pepper with the, I don't know, whatever people get, or their Starbucks addiction, whatever, to get you through the afternoon. But I might have something that could be a much more natural alternative. That, are you willing to take a look at it? Just something real casual. So 2 of those a day if you're part-time, or if you know someone who, don't be afraid. Like, if people are wanting to earn extra money, stay at home with their babies, get out of debt, pay off student loans, save for, their kids' college, save for retirement, approach them about this opportunity. There's a way to do that. You want to compliment them. You want to tell them why you're thinking about them. You want to give them just a little bit about the business opportunity. Then you want to just ask them permission. And so, we should constantly be putting our products and this opportunity out in front of people on a daily basis. It looks different. There are different ways to do that, but building relationships, gaining new contacts is key. Always be growing your Facebook audience. Always. Here's a little trick that I use is, like, if I post a picture of my mother-in-law and my kids, okay, so it's on my Facebook page, it's a cute picture of them, and I tagged her, and her friends start liking that picture or commenting on that picture. As soon as they do, I send them a friend request. Now, if that's not weird, I'm not going onto her Facebook page and just friending her friends. Like, I'm not doing that, because that would be weird. But if they just liked one of my pictures, or if they just commented on one of my pictures, then that was not weird in that moment for them to see, oh, and she just sent me a friend request. I know her. That's Linda's daughter-in-law, except. And so I've grown my Facebook audience a lot in that way. Be real intentional. Like, pull a Throwback Thursday from, when you were in high school, and tag all your high school friends. And then people are going to like it and comment on it that maybe you're not friends with, or maybe that you've forgotten about, and you send them a friend request immediately. As soon as I started building my business, my Facebook page became my business. And so I used to be a Facebook snob and only, accept people that I truly had relationships with, and it was very private. And now it's my business. And so I'm always looking for ways to grow my business. I probably went a little too crazy on that question. Sorry.
No, that was perfect. Because I think that, even I remember early on people saying like, oh, contacts. And I was like, I don't even know what that means, And so you even opened it a little bit more broad for me. I feel like I knew like, oh, when I meet people at the grocery store, talking to them, building relationships, but I didn't really think about going and friending, people who liked someone in common, if I tag them. Anyway, that was great. I loved it. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And I loved how you said building the relationships. Like, you don't have to mention Plexus right off the bat. Like,
yes.
Build that contact, build that relationship, and Plexus will like ease its way into it.
It's so true. It's so important that you don't vomit Plexus on people. That is such a turnoff. I am so patient, y'all. There are some people that I have been talking to about Plexus for a long time. I'm committed. Remember, I'm here. It's my 4-year career, right? So when I made the decision, I knew I was going to be here 4 years. So if I need to drip on someone for 6 months, 7 months, 10 months, and just give them little pieces at a time, then I'm willing to do that. So yes, those relationships are key for sure.
Yes, I love that. And also your power hour, when you did your Periscope about that, I started doing a power hour, and I can really tell that it's like helped my business grow. And so like for me, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I wake up super early and my son sleeps in. So I take first thing in the morning to do my power hour, and I have the rest of the day with him. And yes, I occasionally check in with Facebook, but I know that I had that one productive hour that I got a lot of stuff done. So I really love the power hour.
Yes. And have you seen that document? My dog is scratching to get out. Come here. Sorry. See, isn't this the beauty of being at home? Okay. She always sits with me whenever I do my interviews and my videos. Did you print that document out too, Kelsey? Like the power hour document?
Oh, no, I didn't see the document.
Okay.
I think I took a screenshot of your Periscope. Like,
okay. That's awesome. Well, I'll have to send you the document so that you can then share that with your team.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So our last question is, okay, for some, like even this for me and Allie and our sideline Jill that runs our page with us, we want to go diamond. What is your biggest advice for anybody who wants to make it to the top?
Okay. Well, biggest advice for anyone who wants to make it to the top, I would say, I'm going to kind of overlap on something that I already shared. I really think that it is so important to pour into your top 20%, because y'all, and this is why I want to kind of repeat this. I've seen it happen so many times on my team, and listen, I've done this myself. Okay. So let's just say I'm a senior gold ambassador, and I am on the brink of Ruby, and, you look in your back office, right? And you're like, if only, like, I have the Ruby points. They're there. I have them. If only everyone could just get their points. And then so you start contacting white lines and you start contacting blue lines with zeros because it's there, right? And we spend so much of our time trying to raise the dead. I always say it's easier to give birth than to raise the dead. And it's true. So if we would stop worrying about the people that aren't doing anything, and we would turn our focus and we would start leading the people that do want this. Y'all, this applies if you have one person on your team, one. Okay, so maybe you sign someone and they just want to be a wholesale buyer, and you're trying to get them to do the business and you're trying to pour into them and they just want to be a wholesale buyer. Let them get their products for wholesale and go and find someone else that wants to work the business. So really pour into those people that want it, number one. And number two, never stop prospecting yourself. Never stop sharing our products and this opportunity yourself. Don't get to the place mentally where you're like, I feel like I have like 2 strong legs or 1 really strong leg or 10 strong legs or whatever. And I'm just going to like sit back and enjoy this ride. You know, as a diamond, you really, really, really want to lead by example, not as a diamond, just as a leader. So if you have 1 person on your team, you want to lead by example. I would say, one thing that I did in the beginning was it was like I would match the efforts of my ambassadors' activities. So whenever I'm investing in them. So Kelsey, if you're on my team and you're doing nothing, then I'm not going to be spending a lot of time reaching out to you. But Allie, if you're on my team and you're posting on Facebook and I can tell that you're making contacts and you're following up, girl, I'm all yours. You know, I'm going to invest in you and I'm going to do whatever I can for you. So kind of match the efforts of your team members. So, you know, definitely lead by example. As if you're serious about this business and if you want to go to the top, be the strongest person on your team. Be the strongest person and then go out and have your team, you know, try to duplicate you. But if you have downline members and sideline members and people on other teams, you know, and they're stronger than you, you know, then your team is going to follow your lead. So you stay focused. You work on, you know, sponsoring 3 people every month and going silver every month. You work on making sure that your volume is at 500 PV every month. Are you going to have months where that doesn't happen? Yes. Are you going to have months where you blow that out of the water? Absolutely. You know, but set those goals and make sure you're reaching toward those goals.
I love that.
Me too. I learned so much just from listening to you talk. So I know our teams will just love this, and the advice I love it. So Allie, did you want to say anything else before we close? No.
I mean, I think this is great. That was super helpful.
Yeah.
Same thing. I echo Kelsey. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, just from brand new ambassadors who signed yesterday to us who, you know, are trying to get Ruby and above, like this was all very helpful. So we just want to thank you again, Melissa, for taking time out of your busy day to share with us. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yay. Okay, bye.
Bye.